Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Nintendo Switch Lite, that new little thing that comes out today. It's basically just going to be very early impressions and just talking about the experience of it, how it compares to the Switch OG, I don't know what the hell we're going to call it now, the Switch Fat? That could be a thing. But in order to do that, I'm gonna need one. It's actually been a really long time since I've ever been to like a physical shop and physically bought a physical console, but you know, I mean, I remember back in the day, you know, sort of where to go to buy them, so I'm fairly confident that I know what I'm doing, so we're just gonna do it. But I might need some help because I can't take that camera with me without somebody pointing it at me. Sasha! Sasha! Sasha!
What?
I need your help. Get your shoes on. We're going on a Lite adventure. Well, I got it, as you can plainly see by the look on the screen. Yes, this is the Switch Lite, and if I ever call it Switch Mini in this video, I apologize because I've been calling it that for bloody ages and I don't see myself getting out of the habit by the end of this video, but who knows? So, I've actually been using the Switch Lite for just a small amount of time now, and I thought I'd give you my impressions. Do not take this as a formal review. We've got one of those over on NintendoLife.com. This is just, you know, early impressions, how I feel about it, and stuff like that. And I paid for this with my own money. My own money. So the first thing I noticed when I picked this sucker up was it is small. When you see the comparisons, you know, side by side with an actual Switch, which, thinking about it, I should have. Did I say actual Switch when I left? I should close the door. When you see it side by side with an original Switch, you may think, well, there's not that much of a difference in size, and to be honest, there kind of is that sort of element to it. It doesn't seem that much smaller when you see them just like that, but when you actually have it in your hand, just like, you know, grab your mitts around it like that, surprisingly dinky. Hang on, I'm getting something through. Yes, I can hear the comments already. Yes, they're saying, well, duh, Alex, it's literally the point of it. And yes, it is, you know, that is primarily the purpose of it, is designed to be a little bit smaller. However, I don't really think that is necessarily the main use of it. I mean, obviously this is designed, I think, overall to a sort of the audience is sort of a younger audience overall, sort of Western children, but also I think it is targeted very heavily at Japan because, I mean, I don't know any stats or anything like that as to how many people actually use the docked mode, but I do know that handheld gaming is chuffing massive in Japan, and that's one of the reasons why no one ever bought an Xbox. It's not, but no one ever bought an Xbox. I just find it fun to think about that occasionally. Not only that, but in the hand and just feeling it, yeah, I mean, the Switch, the original Switch, let me get this out. The original Switch, when you hold it in your hand, it feels solid, it feels like a thing. You know, there's a bit of flex on the Joy-Con, but it's not massive. But you do get this feeling that there's a certain sort of disconnect. Let me fold that down and just pretend I can see the screen. There is a sort of certain disconnect between the controllers and the actual body of the console itself. It's also a weighty sausage. And there's just something, it doesn't feel very much like what you would expect a Nintendo handheld to feel like, and I think it is just because the Joy-Con come off, and it's as simple as that, really. So then it's not surprising that the Lite feels really, really strong. It feels sturdy all the way through. It feels like a great big slab of one thing with some controllers on it, not, you know, with controllers slapped on the side. And I meant to say controls, not controllers, because that would be confusing. Screen-wise, I mean, the screen looks pretty nice. It, if anything, looks a teeny tiny bit sharper because it's a smaller screen displaying the same resolution, so it's technically got a greater DPI or dots per inch. Is it dots per inch? It Certainly not Dixels. It's bright, clear, easy to see. Certain tiny text can be a little bit hard to see on there, particularly with things like starting up Wolfenstein 2, for example. I noticed when I was just trying it out because I thought, what better thing to play Wolfenstein 2 on than a bright yellow slab of plastic? It wasn't really an issue for me, but then again, I've got quite good eyesight. However, I can see some people potentially straining a little bit, particularly if you're old, like my bosses. Hi. One thing that is a little bit surprising, and I don't know exactly why they've gone in this direction and why they went with it with the Joy-Con, for example, but well, let me show you. The Joy-Con buttons, they go like this. They're sort of clicky. Can you hear that? This is a good video. And yet with the Lite, it's sort of spongier, more like the Pro controller. I don't know quite why they've gone for that, but listen. Oh, it's a good video. This has really surprised me. I mean, personally, I think I'm more of a fan of the Lite buttons overall. There's nothing wrong with the clicky buttons. I know plenty of people who absolutely love that, and that's great. But for me, just that kind of little bit of extra travel, I like that. It just makes the button feel high quality. High quality. If you're sort of worrying that it's like loads of travel now, like cheap controllers, it's not. It's not low to travel at all. It just feels a little bit softer, a little bit more sort of gentle, a little more supple, a little more friendly. But there's one thing that really surprised me about the Switch Lite, and that's that in handheld mode, it's more comfortable for me with my big hands than the big Switch! I don't fully understand the reasons why, and it may well be that long term it's just as uncomfortable for me, but you know, to be honest, playing the Switch like this, it's not comfy. I think what it mainly has to do is the fact that I can't sort of like grip that round there like that because my palms then want to go in. And so I sort of end up doing that, but then that's quite a lot of, was this cover a bad idea? It's quite a lot of pressure just to place on there because the console is quite heavy. I mean, for a portable console, which is fine. It's not an issue. You know, I can play it like this, just not for any length of time. And so what I generally tend to do is either that, which is where I support it underneath with my pinkies, and I've covered the camera screen, so I don't know if you can see that. You can see that. And this, I think, is one of the reasons why I potentially, in the fact that I do the same thing with my phone like that, you know, I hold my phone and I support it underneath like that. I think that's one of the issues, one of the reasons even why I have potentially developed some radial tunnel syndrome, which is basically where it goes all hurty up the arm. So that's out, so then I consciously make an effort to more go like that, and I don't know where my fingers want to go. They want to go there, but then that's uncomfortable, so then I sort of end up doing that, and it just doesn't really feel comfortable. I think it's too heavy on this, and this flap. The Lite, on the other hand, is lighter and smaller, so it's actually very comfortable for me to grip just like that, and that is not a strain in the slightest. I can just let my fingers curl back here, and I am a comfortable, happy lad. It's a little bit like the 3DS, but infinitely more ergonomic because that thing had pointy corners. I was really hoping that this would be more comfortable. I was a little bit worried that it was gonna feel like, you know, gonna feel like this, you know? And to be honest, when the Switch, the original, first came out, I was like, this is great, it's much meatier, much bigger, but then the weight and everything, I mean, really, feeling the weight between the two, it's pretty damn significant just in the hand. I mean, I think it's only like, is it like 100 grams difference or something? Errol gets something on screen. I think all in all, in my opinion, the Switch Lite is just that. It is a light Switch. It does come with some downsides though. The primary one being it docks at a funny angle. It doesn't dock. Yeah, it just doesn't dock. Just won't fit in the dock. Haven't tried it in a third-party one, so I don't even know if it'll explode if you do. There is also the worry with Joy-Con drift, or stick drift, I suppose in this case, because these aren't some Joy-Cons anymore, lad. Drift, thankfully, isn't something I've ever experienced on any of my Joy-Con, mainly because I think I use a lot of Pro Controllers, and I do a lot of TV mode and docked and stuff like that, which are the same thing. But Sasha, my partner, she's just, you know, she doesn't really do anything except handheld. Very occasionally goes on the TV, because she's more than happy to do that, because she's got glasses. Actually, I don't know why she's happy to do that. But if it does start becoming an issue with the Switch Lite, you can be 100% certain there's going to be a lot of very, 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 very sad people who may even get angry. So, in a word, the Switch Lite, do I like it? Yes. Do I think I'll be using it frequently? Well, yes, I think I probably will. I don't think I'll necessarily be using it all the time or every time I leave the house or anything like that. But if I'm going somewhere and I want to take my Switch with me, yeah, I'm gonna take the mini bollocks! Yeah, I'm gonna take the Lite. It's smaller, it's more compact, and as soon as I get a case for it, I'll let it out of my hand, which I haven't done for 4 hours. There aren't many people who are gonna be buying this for the same reason I did, besides, you know, getting it for work. I didn't really feel I couldn't own one, if you know what I mean. I'm essentially going to be using it as a supplementary second Switch, which is a very, very privileged position to be in. Don't get me wrong, I'm fully aware of that. There are many people can't really justify buying another Switch. I, however, can, because of work. In the West, at the very least, this is mainly going to be for children and people who just don't give a flying monkey about TV mode. I don't know who those people are, but I'm not sure I want to meet them. I'm joking, I love you all. And let's be brutally honest, it's a 3DS replacer, isn't it? The 3DS is basically dead. It has been for a long time now, and I may well get some comments now saying, Alex, but there's a new game coming out next year. One new game. It's not dead. Mate, that's dead. Even a dead fly twitches. That's what the 3DS is doing now. That's a bit grim. If you're going to own one Switch and just one Switch, honestly, I'd say still go for the OG, you know, go for the big Switch, because it's more versatile, you can do more with it, you've got the detachable Joy-Con and everything like that. The kickstand, if you really want to use it, it's just overall, it's a more versatile piece of kit. But if you want another one, in the household is what I think I meant to say. You know, if you've already got one of these Switches and the child is saying, I want a Switch too, I don't want to have to use this one, it's all big and bulky and I keep dropping it and breaking it. Well, you can get them one of these, and it will hopefully shut them up because it's nice and bright and cheerful, and I must admit, I love the yellow. That's why I bought it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you shrink down that subscribe button to a more comfortable handheld form factor, and be sure to check out nintendolife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, we're rolling, so